Etihad. What a second half we have in store. Half-time thoughts, Karen?
Oh, I think it's been a topsy-turvy game, Nick, so you've summarised it very, very well. But there's going to be some big decisions to make at half-time.
Half-time at the Etihad, Manchester City 2, Manchester United 3. Let's join the guys back in the studio, Natalie, Toni and Steve.
Wow, welcome back to Matchday Live, where it's half-time in the Manchester derby in the WSL, and it is 3-2. What a 49 minutes of football we've just watched. I really feel like I need this discussion with Steve Howey and Toni Duggan to process what's just happened. Steve, what have we just witnessed?
Two sides of for Man City that, it's one extreme to the other. For me, for the first, I would say, 35, 40 minutes, City weren't great. To be fair to Man United, I thought they played quite well and 3-0 up. But then City get the goal and all of a sudden the turnaround is 3-2 and possibly could be 3-3. So first off, pretty madness really.
Got to give a lot of credit to City, Toni, to be 3-0 down and still show a level of fight and determination to bring it back to 3-2.
Yeah, the character that they've shown. I don't know why they've been so nervous from the start. I think, like Steve said, you've got to give credit to Manchester United, because I think for me, they've been criticised this year about not getting the press right, about not being offensive-minded, and right from the off, they were at Manchester City's heels. It started with an Ella Toone goal. I probably jinxed this, sorry. She's got 2 goals today so far, but she's playing brilliant. But for City to go in there now and just be one goal behind, they've really dragged themselves back into this game, and they really needed to.
Yeah, Manchester United really came out of the traps. We were saying they were giving City no space at all, and it wasn't a huge surprise when they took the lead. Ella Toone's first ever goal in the Manchester derby, which of course then became her second ever goal in the Manchester derby. She latched onto a lofted ball, Steve. We're trying to remember now because we're 5 goals in. She had the finish. Chiara Keating ran out, tried to do her best to put her off. There was then a defender that tried to sweep it off the line, but she got it in.
Yeah, I mean, she reads the play really well. It's the ball through. I actually think might be Turland that tries to hit a shot and miskicks it really, but it ends up falling brilliant for Ella Toone. And as the goalkeeper comes out, it's a deft little dink over the body. Unfortunately, the defender couldn't get back to clear the lines, but Man United have been kind of setting traps, because the City goalkeeper's been getting the ball and wanting to play it out, and every time it seems as though they try to play in that pass and it's a straight ball, it's being cut out, and that's what causes the problems.
The second goal came from a corner, so we know now from seeing the replay, Toni, and you immediately said it, that it was offside. Was it Leah Galton was offside? Obviously the flag doesn't go up. She's it feels like the ball just kind of lands to her, and it felt like an easy finish in the end, but she was offside.
Yeah, I think City didn't deal with the initial ball in from the corner, and I think the query is, who's the ball come back off? Because it looked like it could have come off a City defender, or it could have come off the United player. It does come off a United player, which shows that Leah Galton is, I would say, in an offside position. It settles the debate again, should there be VAR in the women's game or not, but the goal stands, and City found themselves 2-0 down, but again it's a bit of poor defending, and as Steve said before, the third goal leading into comes again from playing centrally in the middle of the park, and I don't think Keatings has learned from her lessons of, I don't know whether it's tactical from Gareth or whether she's just wanting to play into that middle area, but as Steve said, United are setting that trap, and it's cost them 2 goals in this game.
Do you think City are or were struggling to cope with the loss of Alex Greenwood? Since she's been out, there's been a few goals conceded, a few questions about the defence. Do you think that we've not adjusted yet?
Yeah, I said before the game, Alex is a massive loss. I was Alex's teammate for many years at Everton, at England, and I know what she brings to the team on the pitch and off. And I think also being that left-footed, left-sided centre-half, it adds a balance and a different dimension to Manchester City, especially the style in which they want to play. I mean, Nak's come in today, it's a debut. Thankfully, she gets a header, gets a goal. But yeah, I mean, yourself, Steve, if you've got a centre-half partnership that's, together every single game, and then one gets injured, it affects the team. And I think it's showing, and, that can't happen at the Etihad in a Manchester derby. And, I think at half-time they'll be speaking about them problems.
Yeah, then United go on to get a third goal, Steve, and you mentioned before the pressure that Chiara Keating's been under and a couple of the errors. Well, the third goal was a glaring one for that. Chiara Keating goes for a goal kick towards Uwabi, I think it was, and I mean, I don't know what happened. The United player pounced on her, like good.
Yeah, but I mean, literally a minute or less than a minute before they had another chance like that. They tried to play it out, got caught, and I think it was Taylor that misses the chance. And then literally straight afterwards, again the player ball out, shuts it down, comes to Ella Toon, she just takes a touch, finishes it off, and at 3-0 you're thinking, wow, where's this come from? Because we've seen Man United in the past and they've played against the top teams and they haven't really, certainly away from home, scored many goals or even had shots on target, and here they were 3-0 up.
I think that shows as well, with that goal, Man United have been so much on the front foot, and that's the strength of Bizet. I think she's the one that steps in on Howey, and she needs to be more aware that there's a player there, but that has been Manchester United from the first whistle today, and Manchester City really need to match that for the second half.
When Ella Toon is standing there and she put the ball in the back of the net, she turns around and she's almost looking like it cannot be this easy. Something, is there a flag? Is there what's happened? There was nothing. She'll never score an easier goal, probably.
No, she won't. Again, I go back to me jinxing it before the game. I thought she might get one, but not two. But yeah, that's too easy. That's far too easy. You have to up your game, especially in a Manchester derby. But yeah, I mean, Ella Toon's playing really well. The celebration was nice, for a family, and shows the togetherness of United. But hopefully Man City can get in there now and regroup.
Yeah, and then as we said, they showed a level of fight at 3-0 down. I mean, I was head in hands, but they showed commitment and character, like you said, Tony, and they got it back to 3-1. Oh, Vivianne Miedema, how happy am I that she is back at this exact point with Bunny out, with Lauren out. Miedema is back, and that was really important to get back to 3-1 at that point in the game, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, the ball finds itself on the right-hand side. Fowler does brilliant. Takes a touch past the defender and whips a great ball in. And again, it was one of them balls that we talked about in the earlier game. It's kind of dead man's area where the goalkeeper doesn't want to come for it, centre-half doesn't want to touch it, but Miedema, great movement, gets in between the defender, gets a head on it, and it's a great finish. And all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, well, 3-1, not too bad, but obviously it improves after that.
It improves after that because Rebecca Knack, on her debut in the WSL, rises the highest at a corner, and it's a powerful header into the back of the net for her. The debutante with a derby goal, that is a way to start your career at Manchester City. To bring it back to 3-2, what did you make of that goal, Tony?
Oh, it was a great header. I think it was always going to take something special to beat Tullis Joyce because the form that she's in this year. So to get that header from so far out and get it past the goalkeeper, it was, the direction that she gets on the ball is great, and it gets City back into the game. You're talking a different story now. You're going in at half time, only 1 goal to the deficit, and it could have been 2.
We almost didn't want half time to come there as well, Steve, because City continued with the pressure until the whistle went.
They did, yeah, and possibly could have had another one. And one thing's absolutely for sure, I think Gareth's team talk has completely changed from what it was going to be to what it is now, because he'd be buoyed by the fact that, the women have just thought, fair enough for 3-0 down, but they've kept going. And fair play, they're backing in it. And if they can start the game as brightly as what they ended the first half, we could have a fantastic second half in our hands.
Are you expecting Gareth to make any changes? I mean, certainly something's got to change in defence, surely.
I think it's a difficult one because, they have got themselves back into the game now. So I think, the nerves has gone now. Get in, compose yourself, and can they start the second half out the end of the first? I think, for me, you're looking at City's bench, there's a lot of youth on there. You've got maybe Laura Coombs in midfield. Can she come on maybe the 70th minute mark? People are starting to fatigue. Vivianne Miedema's only just coming back, so maybe she's fatigued. So I think he has to use the substitutes wisely, and I think to bring in one of the young kids, at such an occasion at half-time, I think he'd be debating that. But maybe towards the end of the game, it's had that impact. They come on fearless and, maybe use them in that sense, I think.
Steve, in terms of tactically, would you keep playing out from the back, or do you want to just start seeing some big hoofs?
I think you've got to mix it up. I think if you clear your lines, then they might drop off a little bit. But at the moment, I think the more that you're just playing in those straight passes, particularly, probably is not so bad if it's wide, because if you lose the ball, they've still got a bit to do. But if you're losing it right in the edge of your 18-yard box, you're straight in on goal. I've been saying that countless times this half. I think he'll be having a word with his goalkeeper, 100%. If she's not sure, clear lines, get everybody up. And then, if you do that 2 or 3 times, you might have the room then to play it. But if it's not on, just go long.
So, City currently 3-2 down here at the Etihad Stadium. Of course, earlier on, the men played and had a wonderful 6-0 victory at Ipswich. We were able to catch up with one of the many goal scorers from today, Phil Foden.
Phil, congratulations today. That was a superb performance from everyone in the team.
Yeah, I think it was a class performance from the minute one to the last minute. It was in full control of the game. Look back to ourselves as well. A lot of possession, short passes like we're used to, in the past. So yeah, I'm really delighted to come here where other big teams have struggled in the past. So it just shows our character to come here and do what we did. So yeah, really delighted.
And just tell us about those goals. They all seem to come through Jeremy, starting with Jeremy and then to Kevin. You finished them off. You three today seemed almost unstoppable.
Yeah, I built a really good connection with Jez and Kevin, always arrive in the box late and they always manage to find me in the space, so it's something that we've worked on in training and it just becomes natural now in a game. So yeah, I'm obviously delighted for myself as well to get on the score sheet again. It's really good for my confidence and also for the team to score 6 as well away from home, hopefully we can just build on this now and keep the momentum in and keep the winning ways.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's now 4 in 2 difficult away games for you personally, and 16 for the side in our last 3 games. So it does feel like that confidence is really coming back through the side now. Yeah,
the performances have been very good as well recently, even though we haven't got some results. But I can see that we're coming back slowly and getting to the levels that we used to know. So yeah, all I can say is a big positive coming in and doing what we did, and let's just try and take it into the next games. Yeah,
like you're saying, there's 2 big games coming up as well. PSG in midweek and then Chelsea at home. So yeah, it's a perfect way to go into those, really.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many big games just around the corner. Not a lot of time to recover, So yeah, we just got to be ready. And the schedule is the schedule, and we've been used to it for many years now, playing this many games. So something we have to get used to and prepare best as possible. So yeah.
Brilliant. Well done today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Jez, Kevin, Phil. That is the ultimate trio. I love that interview from Phil Foden, of course. He was talking about character. Well, the women are going to have to continue to show some character to make a comeback in the Manchester derby. Do you know what? I fancy them, though. If they carry on the way they were playing in the last 10 minutes of the game, they definitely have a chance. Tony, what would you like to see different or the same from City in the second half?
Do you know what? I think towards the end of the first half, I think Virginia was really coming into the game, and I think they need to get the ball to her more, because 1v1 against Gabby George, she's had it every single time. I think Mary Fowler on the opposite wing, can we get her more involved? And then you've got Viv Medema in the box, so she can work her magic. She's dragged them back into the game now, and I'm sure there's plenty more goals out there for her.
Looking at the table as well, Steve, we mentioned before, big wins for Arsenal, big wins for Chelsea today, both of them scoring 5-0 for both of them today. They play each other next week in the WSL, which gives an opportunity, obviously, for one of them to drop some points. So it makes it even more important that City claw it back and get that result today.
Yeah, because I think they were 1 point ahead of Man United going into this game, and of course a win would put them back to second. I mean, if they can come back from 3-0 down, that'll give them such a boost as well against the rivals. But it'll be interesting to see how they start the second half. But of course, every point is vital. But can they start the second half exactly how they finished the first half? And if they can do that, then there could be more than just the 1 point in this.
You can see the players coming back out onto the pitch there behind us. We've shown a chink in Manchester United. We talked about them being the best defensive team, conceded 3 goals in the WSL before today. Well, City have put 2 past them. We will be here at full time, where hopefully we are talking about one heck of a comeback for Manchester City. Come back, join Tony and Steve and I at full time. And in the meantime, get the second half commentary with Nick and with Karen over on the Manchester City app. If you're not currently on there, switch over there now. Come on, Blues, we can do it.
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Tony, and to Steve. All to play for at the Etihad. Manchester City 2, Manchester United 3. Confirmation of those starting 11s. Chiara Keating in goal. Leah Alejandre, Viv Miedema, Mary Fowler, Jill Roord, Leila Wahabi, Jess Park, Kirsten Kashparai, Orba Fujino, Yui Hasegawa and Rebecca Nack. Fallon Tullis-Joyce in goal for Manchester United. Gabby George, Maya Letitia, Ella Toon, Leah Galton, Shade Riviere, Celine Bisset, Dominique Janssen, Elizabeth Turland, Renata